I'm saying it's still Mike Tyson, and I do believe that to a point. Like you say being worse than the Vitor Belfort fight. There's no way, not in my opinion. There's no way that Jake Paul beats up Mike Tyson the way Vitor Belfort beat up.
It's gonna be elder abuse, and he should be arrested. That's how bad it's gonna be. I'm so certain of it. It's not even.
Magic in the movies. Get better and better. It's time! What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to another discussion here at Three Shades of Whatever. Yeah, Jake Paul, Greg, is back in the news, huh?
I mean, he's been in the news.
It's been a little bit quiet from him. I didn't even know he was having a fight coming up that last one, and that he knocked that dude out. And how are we putting Mike Tyson, arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time, in the ring at damn near 60 against Jake Paul? Now, here's my thing. Even at damn near 60, if we're doing this for real, Mike Tyson should wash Jake Paul. It shouldn't even be a goddamn contest. If they go in there and then they start trading body shots and jab, I'm going to know it's a farce and it's all bullshit.
All right.
It's being on Netflix is also screaming farce to me.
Well, Netflix, dude, it's a great... First of all, the only good thing about this whole thing is the business move of it is genius. Actually, being on Netflix is absolute genius because...
I agree. I've got no issue with it. I'm just saying.
Netflix getting into live sports is also... That's going to happen. It's bound to happen. They just signed WWE, even though it's not sports, it's sports entertainment. That starts next year. Monday Night Raw is going to be on Netflix. They're going to start doing live sports. I think they did a tennis thing, but they're going to do this boxing event. It's a genius from a business standpoint. Being on Netflix, love it, because guess what? We all have Netflix. Let's start putting boxing, would normally be pay-per-views, on Netflix, and then I don't have to illegally stream it anymore. Just kidding. Anyway, but the actual fight, and no, I do not believe I could be wrong, but I'm watching a lot of videos saying but it's still Mike Tyson. No, it's not. It is nothing.
He's 58 years old.
He is going to be 58 at the time of this fight. Yeah. There is no Mike Tyson's going to knock out Jake Paul. It's not. This is elder abuse. I'm sorry. Tyson has zero chance. And not only that, hold on. Let me continue. This should not be commissioned. This should not.
I agree with that.
So the
Tyson having zero chance, I don't know if
he has zero chance. Jake Paul is 27 years old. Mike Tyson's going to be 58 years old. Jake Paul has been training consistently.
He's still an animal.
He's not. He's got 20-second clips from 4 years ago where he looks good.
That's true.
He does not. He did not look good against Roy Jones. Roy Jones was fat and out of shape, jabbing from the outside. Tyson trying to get on the inside. Yeah, little flashes.
I don't think they tried. That was a farce in itself. There was no headhunting going on. They weren't trying to knock each other out. They were just body shotting most of the fight.
But you could say that, but we don't know that. That could have been them at their best.
I don't know that, but I'm saying how it looked.
And also, Roy Jones, I think, went boxed after that. I could be wrong about this. I would look it up.
No, he did.
And he got beat up by Anthony Pettis, who is at one point 145-pounder in the UFC in a boxing match. Yeah. That's what I think. I agree. Is that true? Let me look this up.
It wasn't Anthony Pettis. Now you got me wondering, so my fucking phone's dead.
Well... we're waiting.
Anthony Pettis, former WC and UFC lightweight champion Anthony Pettis. The bout took place April 1st, 2023, Milwaukee. Pettis defeated Jones via majority decision after 8 rounds. Now, let me sum this up for you. Pettis, I believe, at one point fought at 145 pounds. And then he went up to 155 pounds. He was, I believe, a 155-pound champion at one point in the UFC.
He was.
Roy Jones Jr. is a light heavyweight boxer who is a similar age.
The weights are different. What's the heavyweight in boxing? Light heavyweight in boxing.
It's maybe 185 or something. But
so
Roy Jones went up to heavyweight at one point. But the point is this is a big boy. He's a big boy. He's bigger than Pettis. and Pettis beat him in a majority decision. Mike Tyson in that fight and Roy Jones, it was like, I don't know who won that fight. My thing is, that was 4 years ago.
I can't believe it was that long already.
Age is undefeated. Listen, Jake Paul.
I don't think it's going to be as like bad as Vitor Belfort.
That's exactly how it might be worse. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody's frame of reference is Mike Tyson from 30 years. What are we talking about? He put a few good.
No, I'm not. That's not my frame of reference. My frame of reference is Mike Tyson from those videos from 4 years ago.
That was 4 years ago, and they were 5 seconds long.
But still, I'm saying that's my frame of reference. That's what I'm saying. It's not I'm not thinking of Mikey Tyson from back in the day. I'm thinking about him now.
Jake Paul is.
Maybe 4 years ago,
he's been training for 6 years. He's not.
So let me ask you this. Does Tyson ruin his fucking legacy by getting slept by Jake Paul?
I mean, it's his legacy is already cemented in stone. I've heard other.
I agree with that.
I've heard other people.
I'm saying these are what other people are saying.
I've heard other people say that is his legacy. I don't see how
I don't personally believe so.
Maybe his legacy in life.
I'm not going to. Can't hurt him.
Maybe his life legacy.
I just think it's a bad look. I don't know. Mostly to me. I feel like this is a ploy by Netflix, getting people to come to look at them for something like this.
Do people want to see this?
Like a boxing match. Huh?
There's so many layers to this.
I want to see it.
I don't want to see it. I said when Evander Holyfield was fighting Vitor Belfort, although Evander Holyfield is a little more CTE than Mike Tyson at this point, so I will say that.
Oh my
but
God.
Vitor Belfort would get beat right now by Jake Paul in a boxing match.
I agree with that.
The difference between Vitor Belfort and Jake Paul right now in a boxing match is huge, in my opinion.
Yeah, because Jake Paul is like not to credit the guy or discredit the guy. I'm not saying it like that. I've actually come around a lot on Jake Paul, but compared to Vitor Belfort, Jake Paul is a boxer.
Right, he's training.
Vitor Belfort is not.
He's training that discipline for 6 years. He's got a good team around him. He's been working hard. Yeah, he's been fighting trash cans. A lot of boxers in the beginning of their career fight trash cans. And
smaller retired boxers and fighters.
Has he beat anybody great? No. Has he improved? Yes. Is he 27 years old and big? He's not small. He just fought at 200 pounds.
No, I saw them face off at Tyson. He's taller than Tyson.
And it's like, okay, he's 27. There's a 31 age gap in. I don't know what we're talking about. How does a commission? The only way to make this fight interesting, if you're going to use the stadium in Texas, the AT&T Stadium, because that's where they're going to have it at. How the fudge are they going to get 100,000 people to come to this day? Anyway, if it's not a commissioned fight,
unless it's to go there to see Mike, but I still don't see that happening.
If this isn't a commissioned fight, how are you going to sell out 100,000 people to sell people on an exhibition between a young boxer who hasn't beaten anybody and a geriatric heavyweight champion, arguably the greatest heavyweight champion in the world? You got to sell to everybody. You got to say they're just going to what are they going to do in an exhibition? This got to be.
They're going to fucking play patty
because there's no news on Tyson didn't get commissioned to fight, and he shouldn't. So how does the commission going to say, yeah, go in there and fight? He's going to.
They can't.
So I don't.
They can't.
This whole thing, the reason why it's so shocking to everybody, because at first glance, you're like, how does it even happen? And then you got people saying, like I was watching Patrick Bet David. I love that show, by the way. Shout out to that podcast. The one guy that's I forget, he has like one conservative and one liberal. It's like on one like Republican, one Democrat on his show, and the one who leans more Democrat. I like the guy. He was talking about like how Tyson is going to obliterate Jake Paul, and I was just like, this is the definition of casual fight fan. It's like, oh, but it's still Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's saying.
I'm actually angry about it. I'm angry that this is happening.
I'm angry that Mike Tyson has wasted his time stepping in the ring with Jake Paul. That's my opinion. At this time in his life, go sit down.
Right, to step in the ring.
Enjoy your life.
It could be the only thing that he could possibly step in the ring with is another person who's 58 years old. And
now that
I would watch it.
I'd be okay with that.
I would watch it, but more importantly, I'd be okay with it. But I wouldn't love it because I didn't love the Tyson Roy Jones thing. It's entertainment.
No, that wasn't.
It's entertainment at the end of the day, and that's fine. I don't mind. But when you're doing this style,
but I want to see them really fight. I don't want to see them like, okay, we're gonna go easy on each other. I don't want to see that shit.
Well, they can't.
If you're gonna do it, do it.
They can't. It's in that Texas stadium. They can't sell an exhibition on everybody. I have a feeling, this is just me personally, I don't think this fight happens. So
Really?
I don't think it happens. Something's going to get in the way. It's either Mike Tyson's not going to get commissioned. Somebody's going to talk to him and be like, don't do this. Tyson is an old man. He is
an old man. I agree with you.
Man. Age is undefeated. You could have skills in a lot of different things, but you have a guy who's dedicated the last 6 years of his life who's actually got it.
How hard would you laugh, though, if by some crazy chance Mikey Tyson hits him and sleeps Jake Paul?
I mean, listen, I would actually love to see that. I think if you polled,
it'd be good for boxing.
If you polled an audience of general public audience, I think people,
of course they're going to say
people would want to see that. But the fact that there's zero possibility of that happening is, and I don't care how crazy people call me. You got to be a casual. I agree with you, dude. Mike Tyson went out in that exhibition,
the age does hold a thing.
If Tyson went out in the exhibition against Roy Jones and knocked his head off, I would say there's a chance. But he doesn't have the head speed or the hand speed anymore.
But I don't think he was aiming to in that fight. That's my only biggest issue with that. It seemed like they had a gentleman's bet, a gentleman's handshake or whatever, that we ain't going to try to hurt each other. Let's just go out there and put on a show. And that's what it seemed like to me.
And I can't say you're wrong. The only thing I can say is I disagree. I think that was the best I think they gave us our best because Anthony Pettis beat Roy Jones in a boxing match. I just can't.
That's fair enough. I'm saying I saw plenty of opportunities where Mikey, I keep calling him Mikey Tyson, stupid movie, The Rundown.
Mas o Mikey Tyson é muito forte.
He says, what about Tyson's power?
Where he held back. You saw it clearly. He could have went for the head and just finished Roy, and he didn't do it.
Well, for Tyson's sake.
Go back and watch that fight.
Well, for Tyson's sake, I hope you're right. I don't think that's what happened. I think that's how fast and strong he is. I think that's where he is.
He's very possible.
And listen, we have all these. We have a few examples already. We got Evander Holyfield went in there and got beat up. Roy Jones got beat up by a small UFC guy who's not even a boxer. And now Mike Tyson is going to get in a ring with a guy who's a boxer at this point, who's a big boy.
Yeah,
going to be big, can come in bigger than Tyson. Maybe, I don't know. And he could. I'm just thinking to myself.
He's big.
I don't know how this happens. I don't know how it gets commissioned. It's just stupid. It's elder abuse.
It won't be commissioned. It's gonna be a friggin' exhibition for sure.
I've been watching all of the MMA community, boxing community, and all that stuff. Seems to be unanimously hates this shit. I fucking hate it. I am a huge fight fan. I absolutely, I fucking.
The whole Triller thing has started this whole thing, and it is getting kind of lame. I want to see real fights. This exhibition shit, I don't get me wrong. I love Mike Tyson so much that I would love to see him just get back in the ring, even if it is with a Jake Paul. Now, if he gets slaughtered, it's just gonna fucking piss me off. Do you know what I mean?
Well, be prepared to be pissed off. In fact, not only that,
you know what I mean. I'm saying if they go out there and they make Mike Tyson look bad doing this, that's gonna piss me off.
It's not gonna look good. It doesn't look good when you're laying down sleeping after you got punched in the face.
As long as he doesn't get Tyron Woodley'd.
No, it's going to be I don't know. I
don't know that Jay can knock out Tyson for real. I mean, the age definitely helps. That definitely helps, but I don't know that he can knock out Tyson. I'm not saying that he can't hit it, that he doesn't have the power to do so. I'm saying I still think Mike might be elusive enough or know enough about boxing to not let that shot land.
Well.
Greg's he's going to sleep.
If I had an official prediction, this is how bad is how bad I think it'll be. If the fight gets commissioned and happens, that Jake Paul, when it's all said and done, is going to be the most hated person ever. Because it's going to be obvious that this old man shouldn't be in a ring with a young man fighting a real fight. That's what's going to happen. He's going to stumble. Tyson's going to try to do something. When Jake Paul connects, you're going to see the wobbly Tyson. He's not going to be super strong. His legs super strong. The only thing Tyson may have is his power. That's the last thing that goes. And I get it. But his elusivity, the legs, his brain, it isn't.
Jake Paul's not the most nimble at moving.
Bro, he's 20. Bro, it don't matter. He's 27.
I agree. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying he is not the best I've ever seen. I'm saying if Mike wants to punch him in the face, I'm pretty sure he can get a shot off.
He would have to get on the inside without
Yeah. I mean, this is
without tripping and falling over his own feet, bro. I mean, that's where I don't know.
I can't wait.
Yo,
it just better not be a farce.
It's already.
You know what I'm saying? As far as just going in there and pity patting each other the whole time, I don't want to see that shit.
They can't. They won't. This has to be the only way for this site to fail. This site to fail.
It's not right.
This fight to sell it's got to be on the record. And then if it isn't, okay. Honestly, if it becomes an exhibition,
well, no, you can't put it on the record against a 57, 58-year-old man.
It has to be.
You can't have that be.
Well, that's what it is. It's a commission pro fight. That's why they're trying to say the last time
they didn't say it was commission, did they?
It's a pro fight. They are advertising this as a pro fight. He's not commissioned yet.
I didn't see that. That's stupid.
That's why
Tyson never will get commissioned.
That's why people are saying Tyson hasn't fought a pro fight since 2005 or whatever it's been, 2007.
Oh, see, I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry.
No, this is it's supposed to be a pro fight, a real fight.
That's stupid.
Who wants to see a play around exhibition? And hopefully it dies and people stop talking about it if it's an exhibition, because that's just stupid. It's stupid. What are we all talking about? Oh, let's see the guy we want to see get beat up in Jake Paul because he's a good heel. I give him credit. And then let's see one of our heroes get beat up by the guy we want to see get beat up. It don't make no sense. This fight makes no sense. You know what else shouldn't be allowed anymore?
What's that?
UFC fighters going to boxers. Can we stop that now?
Yo, NGANNOU, bro. I'm surprised his head didn't come off.
That was Anthony Joshua. All he had to do, there's a point in time where NGANNOU threw a jab, but Joshua was so not worried about his jab that he you see it. There's a still image of NGANNOU's glove touching Joshua's face, and Joshua doesn't move, and he's just punching him over. With that overhand right. It was so easy. He set up that overhand right because it's just experience, man. I'm not trying to get into the technicalities of boxing, but NGANNOU had this wide arm stance. He was every time he moved. So in the last fight, NGANNOU,
he looked like Tyron Woodley again. It looked like a Woodley thing. I was holding his arms and everything.
It was real wide. Two things that NGANNOU was doing. He knocked down Tyson Fury with a counter left. So every single time Anthony Joshua would feint, NGANNOU was throwing the left. He was just throwing it. And it was so easy to the point where he just knew he was going to do it. And then he just countered him a couple times. It didn't take very long. He knew exactly. And then a lot of times with the feints,
what was
NGANNOU was trying to.
Third round that he got knocked out?
Second round. Beginning, but before this, pretty fast. NGANNOU was also trying to catch. He was feinting. He was trying to catch punches. He was moving his hand. They do that a lot in MMA. He didn't know how to stand in his guard.
Dude, that was the number one thing he did when he freaking got slept. He dropped his hand to go block.
Yeah.
And the hand wasn't there. The freaking punch came right to his face. Bang.
I love Francis Ngannou, and I'm glad he got his money. So good for him. So he wins.
Yeah, go back to MMA.
He's $30 to $40 million richer. And you know what?
Go back to MMA.
If you invest your money properly, you're set for life. Go to the PFL, fight a few guys. That's it. The whole thing with that made it interesting is that if an MMA fighter is going to go into boxing, the weight division that it'll be most likely to happen is heavyweight, because the speed and the skill is not as big a factor as the smaller guys. So that's what made Francis Ngannou kind of interesting. Could Francis Ngannou possibly just punch this guy's head off his shoulders and win? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean it's possible if he could actually land a shot, but all this fight did to me is make me realize that Tyson Fury needs to sit down now. I mean, it's just over.
It's definitely possible. So it's is it was
if Ngannou was able to do what he did without some backstage fucking gentleman's bullshit I'll help you get through into boxing, I'll let you knock me down. Something. Who knows? That shit does happen. But I'm not saying that's what happened here. I truly think that Tyson looks slower.
Yeah.
His pop and his punches wasn't what it was. And Ngannou was able to dictate what happened in that fight.
He did to a point. I still think Fury easily won the fight, but Ngannou knocked him down and won some rounds.
Compared to what happened with Joshua, dude, it went the distance against arguably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in Tyson Fury.
That is a good question. Is Fury really slowing down? So the couple variables there, the way I see it, is
Isn't he pushing 40 now?
I don't know his age. I don't think he's pushing 40. He's
I'm
in
pretty
his
sure
30s.
he is.
A big variable to me is the style. Obviously, Tyson Fury's style. Some styles make fights. You know, Joshua and Fury style could have made a difference in that fight. But the second thing is also, did he prepare? Was he prepared? Or did he even need to be prepared?
That is another thing.
So
I agree. I don't think he did. I think he thought it was going to be so simple that he was just going to get in there and do it. And Ngannou gave him some trouble.
And since they had that fight, and Anthony Joshua saw that fight, Anthony Joshua took note of it and he prepared. Because now you see him,
He's 35.
you see him fighting. You saw him fight Fury, and Joshua saw it. Now Joshua's got tape on him, and now Joshua's not going to take him lightly. Joshua's going to train as hard as hell for that fight because he has way more to lose. So you have that too. He was able to develop a game plan, and he just executed it. Where Fury,
I will say this. I do believe Fury Ngannou 2 would go very different for Fury. And
I think so too. So how much is it? Does Fury need to sit down, or that he wasn't prepared, took him lightly, had nothing on him? We're going to find out because he's going to fight Alexander Usyk. So
yeah, that's worrisome. Some people just need to know when. What was it? Kenny Rogers that says know when to hold him, know when to fold him.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just sometimes you got to figure out that time, and usually the problem is with a lot of the greats is they never know when to sit down until it's too late.
Yeah. Not everybody pulls a Khabib Nurmagomedov and just stops at 32 years old at 29-0.
I've also got things against him being considered the GOAT.
For sure. Yeah, that's going to be.
John Jones to me is the MMA GOAT. He fought everyone, legends, champions, fucking everyone, and beat them all. Khabib fought quite a few tomato cans and then a few at the end there of the champs and stuff, and then he went
100%.
And he quit.
How can you argue a guy, John Jones, I think, has fought 14 title fights in a row?
Yeah.
You know, yes,
How do you, come
Khabib
on.
was super dominant, but Khabib was at, if Khabib wanted to be the GOAT, he was at that point in his career where he needed to start fighting. He needed to defend his title 2 to 3 more times and dominate before he even gets into that conversation. Granted, what we saw from him was total domination. What we saw was a guy who could have been the GOAT, but he didn't do it. He retired early. So he's one of the greats, but he's not the GOAT.
Is he the Barry Sanders of UFC?
Well, no.
He left a little early?
Well,
Barry could have had all the records too, and he left.
Yeah, but I look at Barry as a guy who was on.
And he was my favorite running back.
Yeah,
I agree. Because to me, he was still the greatest of all time.
No, you know what he is? He's the Megatron.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's the Calvin Johnson.
He's the Calvin Johnson. Could have been one of the greatest of all time, but you know what I mean.
He said, "To hell with the Lions. I'm going home."
No. You know, me know. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
No more UFC. We're done. They're two different sports. If a boxer goes to UFC, he'll get kicked in the stomach and die. And then if UFC goes to boxer.
Now that's to be honest, if we were to see another crossover, that's what I'd like to see.
We haven't seen one yet.
Well, get a box.
Yeah, me too.
No, we did. James Toney did it. James Toney did it back in the day and got completely owned by Randy Couture.
Yeah.
It wasn't even fair. But that's what I'd like to see. All these people that talk shit on MMA, these boxers that talk shit on MMA. Let's see you go over there and try to make the trek. Do you know why they won't? Because they have toothpicks for legs, boxers do.
Well,
one leg kick and it's over.
I do believe the one possibility, because his stock is definitely falling, and this is probably the best money fight for him, Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou in the PFL.
Yeah, but again, Deontay Wilder's got legs like chicken wings.
Whatever, that's fine, but I'm saying, will they fight?
In the PFL, no. I can't
They
see
talked about it.
Deontay Wilder doing that.
Because right now,
I think talking is one thing.
Wilder just lost his last boxing match. He's lost a few. He's still,
Well, I mean, this would be the one to do it. I would like to see it. Don't get me wrong. I would like to see what he would do.
I would watch Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou in the PFL. I would watch that.
Now, I mean, I know you got to think Ngannou's punch is the hardest on record, but Deontay's up there.
Yeah, so Deontay
hits hard.
So Francis Ngannou might be able to punch the hardest in a controlled setting, like, I punched this contraption.
But boxing, I think Deontay might
Wilder's got quicker hands, dude. I mean, come on. It's just, it's not even a question.
He's a boxer. He's a real boxer.
Yeah. So
heavyweight champion, former heavyweight champion boxer.
So you're going to get, with a Wilder and NGANNOU, you're going to get two guys who are mainly strikers going at it. Is NGANNOU going to turn around and start using the wrestling? Is he going to kick him in the legs? He probably will, obviously. Because that's the whole point in bringing a boxer over, is to show, like, well, you wouldn't win in a real fight. So he's obviously going to bring him a real fight.
Well, you guys got to let us know. If you want more fight videos, let us know. And if you want to see these events coming up, let us know in the comments. And hopefully you guys agree with me and we don't think that Mikey Tyson's going to ruin his legacy or anything. So let us know. We'll talk soon.
Elder abuse.